Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve, 2025. This is the last stream of the year of what has been quite a year. And I'm I'm happy to have made it this far on Twitch. I never expected I would have been this consistent, at least. Happy New Year, everybody. Russell, Gary, Inked Over, Happy New Year. Gary, you're in 2026 already. How is it? Let us know. Jason, Happy New Year. How are you? New Year's Eve, I guess it is. 2025 is done. Gabriel, good afternoon. Yeah, I'm excited. It's great. 2026 is great, everyone. Gary's got the first 9 hours to go. Russell, yeah. Yeah, we got 10 here. So 10, yeah, I guess 10. Anyway, yeah, about this time last year, maybe a little bit earlier, I thought, you know what, maybe I'll try this Twitch thing, and we'll see what it is. I got, I've met a lot of great people. Fuzzy Turnip, Happy New Year. How are you? I've met a lot of great people. We've had some really, I think, very interesting conversations about pen repair, about pen companies, about manufacturing, about what it's like to be a retailer, what brands I like, what brands I don't like. The hashtag Brian Rant, that's been fun. And it's held me accountable for doing quite a number of repairs. I've helped make this year bearable. Seriously, well, that's awesome. I'm glad it's been beneficial to somebody. I have cases full of pens as a result of this, which I don't know that I wouldn't have gotten this far. I wouldn't have gotten this many pens done. But it's been fun. It's been fun. There's been some successes. There's been a couple of notable failures. I'm thinking of a Esterbrook CX100. That beautiful wall deco band, we never got open. It's sitting in the bin. I took it to Mike Kennedy. He couldn't get it open. It's sitting in the bin. That poor True Blue that broke like on my third stream. Hey, let's put this section in. Crap. But there's been a lot of cool stuff too. So, and now everything is archived on YouTube, at least through, well, July onward. Juicy, good evening. Happy New Year's. New Year's Eve. You're about there too. Pretty close, right? You got about 4 hours to go. So it's been a good year, and we'll see what 2026 brings. I am optimistic. I got a humorous conference call this morning. 4 hours, yeah, okay. Fuzzy, you learned some stuff. Had to swap a nib, worked just fine. But you had your rubber gripper in case. Great. I had this application that I used to use to help me manage inventory, and it's fantastic. I remember the moment I discovered this application. Lisa and I were in the car. It was dark. We were on our way to a pen show, and I found it and I freaked out because it was so awesome. And I used it for years and years and years and years. And when I went back in August to And I use it primarily for generating purchase orders, and it tells me what I need to order based on order history and velocity of sales, how fast something sells out after it comes in, and things like that. Cool program. If you're into numbers, this is a really pretty cool program. Well, I got bought out by Sage. And some of you, Jason, probably know where this is going. Sage bought it out and the price went up. Well, I was grandfathered in to the old plan, which was based on number of SKUs. Yeah, oof. Yeah, you're going to love this. So my plan was based on the number of SKUs that I wanted to track. So the way around the system is, okay, well, if I don't need to track sales history on Namiki Emperors. I certainly don't need to track it on one-off products, right? So, those you hide in the system. You don't track them. And so you get your numbers down and it's based on SKUs. So, I had it down to about $115 a month, give or take. That was manageable. I call them up. I called them up in August. And they first gave me this number that was so obnoxious. They gave me an annual number, and I forget what it was. But then they said, "Oh, well, if you're less than $500,000 in sales, it's $3,000 a year." So it's like almost 3 times what I was paying. Double. It was more than double. Happy New Year, Spicy. And so I said, you know what? I'll wait. I'm gonna hang on. I can do this myself. And we finally got to a point where I said, well, we gotta be nice to have it again. And there's some other integrations that it will do that this time around that we didn't take advantage of last time because we didn't have certain applications. And so I called them up today, and then I've actually been chatting back and forth with them for several days, and then all of a sudden they hit me up with, okay, well, it's the same price, but there's a $2,000 implementation fee. I'm like, I was telling Lisa, I said, this thing takes 5, maybe 10 minutes max to hook up to my website. Seriously, I kid you not. It's you create an API, boom, you're done. I know how to use it. They're like, yeah, it's $2,000. Okay. I said, well, what do I get for you? That's like $12,000 an hour. It's awful. It's awful. What are you going to do? It's such a cool program though, because, I would sit there and I'd go on Mondays, and then I would have all my vendors and I go, okay, pilot. What do I need to order? I hit a button and boom, it would appear. It'd tell me what's low, what's out of stock. Yeah, you're in the wrong business, Fuzzy. Yeah, and then the guy had the cojones to tell me, oh, well, we do that at cost. I'm thinking, save your guys' time, save my money. I know how to, just tell me how to connect it. Because it's no longer an app that integrates into the website, because there's an app marketplace, and it no longer integrates that way. So we'll see. He's gonna try. If I have to, I will, but not without a whole lot of foot stomping. In your younger days, you used to be a treasurer for several nonprofit organizations. You used a bookkeeping software program that you liked a lot. The company that made it was bought out by QuickBooks. Yeah, and it's never good. It's never good when that happens, because I'm actually a little shocked that this application still exists after Sage bought it out. I don't remember. Sometime in 2024, I think, is when they bought it out. And so, but what I found funny is, yeah, it is rough, but it is good. And there's no other program that does this. Seriously, I mean, I've looked. So what do you got to do? You got to do what you got to do. And I happen to have not been buying much lately, so I got a couple extra dollars in the bank, and that's fine. But what I found hilarious, and then we'll move on to repairing some pens. I guess this is my rant for the day. What I found funny was so the fee is based on revenue. And this guy's the salesman. He's the lead in, and then he passes it on to the implementation engineer, or whatever the guy's title is. And I'm like, okay, so help me understand, because, in most cases, most software, if the further out you pay, you get a discount. So if you pay for 1 year, if you pay an annual purchase, you get 10 or 20% off, as opposed to paying monthly or quarterly or biannually, semi-annually, whatever. So what is it? What exactly is the fee? Oh, well, shouldn't you know that before going into the call? I mean, shouldn't you know that it's X amount a year? If you do it quarterly, it's this amount. If it's every 6 months, it's this amount. You get, okay, fine. Send me an email, man. Go to your New Year's Eve party. Anyway. No, it's not a bookkeeping software. It's an inventory management software. And it's the bomb. It's really the bomb. I love it a lot, but I mean, it literally saves me hours. So it's worth the money. I just, when you go from paying $115 a month to, $250 plus having to pay $2,000 for them to do 5 minutes worth of work, it's a little, So anyway, that was my morning. That's my morning. Windsor fountain pen brand. Doesn't ring a bell. You sent me a picture. Let's see. Windsor. Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks like he probably got a capped ballpoint, mechanical pencil. Fountain pen. Ribbed section. Actually, it looks better than I expected. Probably be a nice nib too. Yeah, I don't know means you can negotiate. I'd be happy with, and then he goes on and says, so what do I get for my $2,000? He says, well, we do forecasting for every single one of your SKUs. I'm thinking, what? I mean, I don't have a lot, comparatively speaking. I have half as many as I used to. And I would argue that a quarter of what I have doesn't need to be they're going to go through 3,000 SKUs and they're going to forecast every single one of them. Size 16 sacks. Okay, well, all right, let's move on to 17s. Can you imagine that? No wonder it's $2,000. Can you imagine if a company's got 50,000, 100,000 SKUs, I can see that, but anyway. I don't know means you can negotiate. That's good. Hey, can you negotiate for me? That'd be great. They're not being clear enough. They are not being clear enough. But like I say, there's no other company that does exactly what they do, which shocks me. I wish I could write code. But it just means it means if once I get it hooked up, I'll be able to order quicker instead of having a note on my desk that I'm out of A6 purple Atoya Profolio notebooks. And I'm thinking, well, I don't have enough to place an order when actually I probably do. I can just go through and it'll tell me. They're probably making a lot of money annoying other people. Yeah, it's an AI add-on. All right. Russell, I would probably replace that sack on the Windsor. That would be my My recommendation. You got a mystery Schaefer today. It looks like a touchdown, but with the silly short, fat, necked sack and a tiny inset nib. Does it have a lever? That sounds weird, huh? All right, where do we leave off? So we got a tray of Snorkels, 1 touchdown. We got one that's not coming open. I guess we got to get the sacks out, and then we can start cleaning these up. Can I start put these in this ultrasonic now? Maybe. Let's take some notes. It was a busy day yesterday. Holy cow, I had customers all day in the store, in the shop. That's right. Let's play. Do any of my pens have good refills? Orange. Jeez. This refill sucks. Oh, this one here is, believe it or not. So this is fun. This still writes. I don't remember what ink this is. But this, if you've never done it, this is a retro short capless refill that I have filled with green fountain pen ink. I probably have not used this pen in a year. And it just started up without question. It's like, well, that's not black. No lever, touchdown style, plastic plunger tube. Huh, I don't know. I don't know. That's I can't think that off the top of my head. How did I do that? Okay, good question. Take this apart. So what you do, in another life, I made a video on this. If you search the tube of view, you might be able to find it. But the gist of it is this. And maybe someday we'll do it here. Pull this plastic plug out. Put a little rubber around it if you need to put your pliers on it so you don't get it out around. But you pull this plug out. You can pull this whole front piece out as well. So there's 2 pieces in here that you have to worry about. There's kind of like a wick inside this front piece here, if you want to clean it. And we've had some mixed results with this. Sometimes we have better luck not cleaning it out. So once it's got ink in it, but you can pull this out, and then there's a real thin wick that's inside here. So you can flush that out. Pull this black plug out, and inside is like, it looks like the filter from a filtered cigarette. And it's, it's lengthwise in the barrel, and you pull that out. Hemostat's usually pretty good. If you can't get it, pull it out, and then you just literally flush it out with water to get it clean. It's very spongy. It's a plastic, kind of like a plastic filter. You can let it dry, or you can put it back in, but you're going to have might have some water in there. And then what you do is, and you put this back in, and then take a pipette, and what I would do is I would hold it like over the bottle. Hold it over the bottle, and then pipette into the open back end here until it starts coming out the front. So if you do that, it's going to displace any water you've got in there. But and you do that, and then once it starts coming out the front, then you know it's full. Put your plug back in, and you wipe it off, and you're good to go. And surprisingly, it doesn't dry up, and this is a miracle. I just can't believe this. It was probably, I probably inked this a year and a half ago. Now I don't use it very much, but it doesn't have a cap. So pretty cool, I think. All right. Blue DRZ, good afternoon. Any New Year's Eve plans? Yeah, actually, I'm heading over to my buddy Dave's, and pretty much right after the shop closes. Well, we're gonna go home. We're gonna make up a little sausage and cheese platter, and then head on over to Dave's, and we'll be there. I'm not gonna stay all night. We got to get up early tomorrow, and we're leaving to go to my mom's house, but to visit for the day. But yeah, we'll be there till probably 11 o'clock. You're heading over to your aunt and uncle's this evening, then a party on the 1st. Yeah, cooking for tomorrow now. Wow. I need to come over to your guys' place, man. You guys cook more than anybody I know. You're going to try the refill. You got gloves, beer, and nothing else to do. It's fantastic. It's really fantastic. And this was, like I said, this is some green ink. It was probably, I couldn't tell you what it was. We used to always have like half samples and stuff. Although I don't think a 2 mil or 3 mil samples is enough to fill this. It might be. This was probably like a Monteverde green or something. I don't know. But it's kind of fun. I mean, and there are no good green ballpoint or gel inks out there. Yeah, I mean, your world's your oyster. Now, if you're just gonna do black, like my friend Dave, he just fills his with Aurora Black. He doesn't even rinse it out. He doesn't rinse out the old Schmidt ink. He just pops it full of red. Now, if you're going to go with the color or something, yeah, then you probably want to flush it out. It's not the hardest part is getting that little black plug off, and then getting the front off without breaking it. And maybe should we do one? Should we just do one for fun? Why don't we do one? Okay, so let's see. We're gonna pick a retro to fill. I got a couple of them here. Hey, look at that. There's a Palmer. I bet you that writes. Yeah, I don't want to do that one. Well, don't put that one back in. Yeah, you didn't find that old video. Yeah. You're making bigos, a Polish hunter's stew stir for the new year. It should be pretty tasty. Plus, potato dumplings. I am there, buddy. Hey, Indy. All right, let's see. So this one, let's see. What is this? This is a Smithsonian. That's actually got a decent refill on it. So I'm gonna put that in. This might have been the first retro I ever. Well, there's no refill at all in here. That's the first retro I think I've ever had. Let's see. This one is the Bigfoot. I think the first two I picked were kind of crappy. This one is, what is this one? This is the Met or something like that. Let's do, and this is like the last, one of the last retros that George ever made, and he is on here. Where is he? Yeah, George is right there, getting sucked up in the tractor beam, and then there's his pooch, who sadly passed away, I think, this past year. That's kind of a fun one. Let's do that one. That one didn't work. Let's make a mess. My choices for ink. You know what would be cool ink? I know what's going to be cool. I got it. How about this one? Colorverse Virgo. I love that one. That'll be cool. All right, I haven't done this in a while, so yeah, messes can be fun. I wonder if I could fit a sack over that. Hey, look at that. I could fit a sack over that. Doesn't really help. Try this again. To terrorize the locals, the 1950s style Jello is chilling right now. I'm trying not to damage the end here. Oh, yeah, it's coming now. And usually once you get it out the first time, it subsequent removals are easier. So there's a little, so I kind of chewed it up a little bit, but it's still round. There's a little lip here, and then I just put my knife. Once I got it out a little bit, I just got it out. All right. Let's see. Sometimes this part doesn't come out very easily, but now that you've got this open, you got to dig kind of down in here. And then there is, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Now, normally this is a whole lot easier if you've got it under a faucet. Put that. Because you really got to kind of, and it is white. It's awesome. You had no idea you could refill these? Yeah. Yeah. No idea I was going to make a big mess today. You sent me down a rabbit hole big time, yeah. And you can see this was fresh water. This is fresh water today. And it is really, I mean, there's ink in here. It's absorbed. This is the complete messy way to do it. Why not? It's New Year's Eve, right? I'm gonna have to get up and I tell you what, give me just a second. I'm gonna get rid of this water. This is nasty. All right. I just put it under the faucet for a little bit. And just to appease the environmentalists out there, this is not very environmentally friendly because you could waste a ton of water to get this clean. So you can start to see it's white and there's still so while you can do it, you might not want to do it. But if you're going to go with a lighter color than black, you want to get it as clean as possible. So we're getting there. And I'm just Trying to force it out to one side. Now, I don't know to what extent, you know, if you were to soak this overnight, that's like, there's maybe a little bit in there, but it could be stained too. And there's an end with the hole in it. And I'm pretty sure that end, try to get as much out of this, should go. So one of those, I should have looked at it a little more carefully, but I think that goes on this end here. No, it's not a sack. It's a plastic filter. Think of it like similar. It's plastic, but it's like a cigarette filter. If you remember those, if you smoke or if you used to, or let's see if I can get this out. Now, getting this part out is not critical to the project, but if you want to try to get everything out, let's see this. I might be able to do it just as well this. So I got a bulb syringe. Let's see what happens. What a ridiculous thing to do today. I really got to get this out. Well, you know what? I wonder. Yeah, I would not put shimmer in there. Oh, hey, this is great. Look at this. So I've got this. This is dual purpose. I bought this particular pliers. It's kind of like a jewelry pliers. It's got a end here, and this works. This works great. I can pull it out easily there. That works great. And then there is this end. And that just pulls right out. And you can see it's pretty caked on with dried ink. I knew we'd have something fun to do today. I don't know that I really want to repair pens today. Maybe I do. I don't know. So if you want to minimize your water, maybe you take a cup and you... This comes out pretty easily. And there is still a little ball in the end, so you can't shove something through it. I probably could get it cleaner. But I don't want this. I don't want a 3-hour stream on refilling a retro. And there is a stop in there too, so when you push it back in, it only goes so far. This is beautiful. This is a new pliers I got. It really makes this part of the job super easy. It's just not gonna. It's just enough to grab it and pull it out. And this actually dries pretty quickly. So I'm gonna go with because you saw that wick there extends out and it really kind of nestles into this hole here. So that's how this goes. When you get home, you have to see if you have a dried out refill to try this. I bet you do. Now, and I just pushed that down, and it was quite a ways down there. The thing is this will also work for some other refills. No guarantee, but other refills that utilize a wick like this. Some 888s, Waterman style rollerball refills will work. All right, I gotta get my pipette. And I really think, unless you're really just trying to be frugal, you should never put blue or just straight up blue or straight up black in these, because what's the point? I think I'm just going to do this over this. Then you have to be careful because it takes a while to saturate, and you don't want to overfill. I had about maybe 2 mils in this. Yeah, dark purple would be fun. Yeah, maybe 2.5 mils in this pipette. And you can kind of, it's hard to see, but it's slowly absorbing. And now I see a little spot coming out the end of the tip here. And if I'd have cleaned it better, I'm just trying to get some of this is the old black that was maybe left in the in the ball. But it's definitely writing more fluid now than it did before. There we go. And sometimes you get a little bit of, and it could be oversaturated. That's why I'm getting that little. Yeah, see now it's, you can't see it, but there's a little bubble, little drop coming out. You know, and it takes a little trial and error. Before it goes from being completely saturated to something that you can work with. Normally it doesn't take this long, but I also haven't done it in a long time. So I had about a milliliter of ink in there, maybe a little more. So when I pushed this on, ink came out the back. And you can slowly it's coming out. If you do it enough, you could probably know. I put way too much in. Know enough to the point where it's gonna. I'm just gonna sit here with it in my towel. The other option is just to go ahead and write with it right away. Now, be very careful if you put these in your pocket. Usual caveats. This is I'm gonna replace that. So instead of black, now I've got this nice color verse kind of a teal. And you can see I must have had a drop or something. It was a little bit, some more flow going on there. Actually, I think this might be still some moisture, some water that's in the tip, because it's not flooding the tip anymore. There we go. So that's how you do that. So if you've got, like, your favorite red or, purple, job best done over 6. Yeah, I mean, I'm, better have your hand cleaner, your trusty Cardinal Pens hand cleaner handy. Highly recommended. But it doesn't take that long. It doesn't have to take. And, and I probably could have. Now, if I'm going to use this same ink in here again, then I just need to open it up, the back end, and then just put more in. And because I've taken it out once, it's going to be easier to take out. Now, the biggest problem you're going to run into is if you damage that end by pulling it out, so, maybe you got to buy a new refill once in a while, but. Now you don't have to pay for new refills like a fool. This is not good for business. This is not good for business. Please subscribe. All right. Where were we? Where I got sidetracked on New Year's Eve. Yeah, it makes sense if you use these refills a lot. It doesn't make sense if you don't use them a lot. Then it's just kind of. Yeah, it does. Okay, yeah, buy more retrofit old rollerballs instead of buying piles of refills. Well, I make more money on the refill. But I do. I really wish I would have gotten. There was a refill that a retro I wanted. Yeah, you're gonna wear out the back, and you will have to buy one once in a while. But there was a retro that I wanted, but it was discontinued. I decided we had one in stock, and I said, well, I decided not to get it. You've seen I have a few there, so. But it's it's healthy for the environment. You get to use your favorite retro, and I can put this in whatever pen I want to put it in. This year's holiday was great fun. Well, I've got, what did I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 retros over here. And all of them with kind of boring black refills. So now they no longer have boring black refills. Well, that one doesn't anyway. Yeah, now you wonder if other refills can be refilled. Some can. I haven't spent a lot of time on it. Thanks for the fun time to return to the kitchen. Have fun time tonight, and Happy New Year. Yeah, absolutely. You too, buddy. I want to say I've tried the 888, the Waterman rollerball style refill. I believe that one works. Anything that has that kind of wick in it, it follows the same principles. If you don't mind getting dirty, it you know, and you do kind of have to squeeze that thing to get that old ink out. But if you just want, you know, you're just going to put Aurora Black in there, just my friend Dave says he never cleans them out because he just puts Aurora Black in there, and he finds that not cleaning them out makes them write smoother. Now, maybe we could have just put the colorverse ink in there and then it would just color change over time. But you know, I didn't do all that work to have my teal ink in 3 weeks. I did it to have teal ink in there now, you know. You know, or if you got a really cool, like a dark orange might be neat. But again, you always got to worry with these guys, especially if you put them in your pocket. If you get like a little piece of lint or something in there, you know, and then now you've got fountain pen ink all over your shirt. You did it with the Schaefer VFM rollerball? Yeah, that I think takes that Waterman style refill. That 888, 50, 88 Schmidt. So you have to experiment. I mean, if you've got a dead refill and you're going to throw it out, as long as you can get another refill, you know. If you screw it up, it's not a huge loss. But if you can get it to work, then, you know, win. So report back and tell me what ink you're putting in your. You'll be checking now before you throw it. Yeah, you might as well. I want to say I've tried like a Parker style. I don't remember which one, and it didn't work. I did so good. I did earlier today. I did like 25 bottles of ink samples, 25, 30, and short of one ink sample that started to slip and I caught it in my hand and I lost about half a mil of ink. My hands were almost spotless before this nonsense. Come on. trying to get this, oh, well, that was not the intention. Oh, there goes the tube. I don't like to do this, but it just wasn't coming out, and the tube came out. So I have this little guy here that I screw in to pull it out. Now, it has a tendency, unfortunately, to widen the bushing. So you definitely got to seal it up when you're... You just threw in platinum mixable black, but it then wrote better than the refill one new. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so that's going to be... not fun. All right, so this has got the crimped end, so we can uncrimp this. That'll make it easier. The markers can be re-inked too. Yeah, I bet there's a ton of different things you can do. If you don't mind getting a little dirty. I bet you could do a highlighter would be cool, maybe. But it's not very, not super broad, so. Your favorite purple marker's dead. You're gonna try it tonight. Try re-inking it. And you just be surprised at how long that actually lasts. I mean, if you had that, if you had a fountain pen inked and you had the cap off, I mean, it'd be dry in no time. You know, this one's giving me problems too. Yeah. So sometimes the idea is this goes in at an angle. So you don't push out in the middle, because then you do what just happened in this, the snorkel tube comes out. If you go to angle and then rotate it around, you can push it out. Well, it didn't move. I don't necessarily like to use this tool, but when I have to, you know, if things don't come out the way I want them to come out, well, then you do what you got to do. It's hard to step away with so many fun pens on the bench. Yeah. I just hope I can get this section apart. It's not the end of the world if I can't, but oh. All right, that one came out. You're going for real now. All right. We'll see you later. Where is... My New Year's resolution is a clean bench. Now notice I didn't say which New Year's. But I'm missing... Where did it go? I'm missing my snorkel tool. For the O-rings. And usually I put it away. It's one of those tools that has a dedicated spot. Well, we'll improvise. I'll find it. I would have used it last week. Where the hell did it go? Well, we can use I can use this. This should work. Yeah, you just need something flat. I mean, a drill bit will work. You can use an old, I used to use an old, hey, Dustin, happy almost New Year. Fancy seeing you here. I used to use an old Schaefer ballpoint refill, actually. That worked out pretty well. But for now, we'll do this. I want to get the old dirt and grime out of here first. I trust you made it home safe, Dustin. We didn't have nearly as much snow last night as I thought we were going to get. I heard snowblowers going off at 3, 4 in the morning. And I thought, man, we must have had. It made it sound like we had 6 inches of snow. And I walked out and I had shoveled the snow when I got home last night. Actually did it in my dress shoes. I was like, I'm not changing my clothes. Sidewalk was still good this morning. The rain followed through with yesterday's threat. It's pouring now. Oh, that's not bad as long as it doesn't freeze, right? But if it freezes, then you're... There we go. There's one. We might get some snow tonight. I just need the roads to be clear for tomorrow. That's all I care about. I got about 4 hours of driving, plus my kids are driving to the house, so. I always want to make sure you clear this hole at the back of the snorkel. Back in the 60s, your aunt and your husband bought a house in Delaware the first winter. He bought a snowblower and his neighbors thought he was nuts. After the first good storm, he was helping them clear the driveways of the snow. Yeah, that's how it is, right? Well, the thing about it is, for those of you that like blowing snow, and I don't mind it. As long as it's not that heavy wet stuff, It's as bad waiting on someone else driving in snow as it is driving yourself. Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially when it's your kids, Well, there it is. But if I see someone struggling and I got the snowblower out there, what is it? Extra 5 minutes? You just walk over and you do it for them. Heck, I used to do half the sidewalk at the old house, or half the sidewalk on the street. Wonder what the heck I did with that tool. I gotta figure out a better tool system. I've got a little spinning rack over here, but it's just not very effective. This guy is really dirty in here. Oh, I didn't see your post, Cindy. You need to order more stuff. You really like the notebook you got last time? I don't remember what you got. Was it a Midori or something? I'm pretty stoked about the new Midori notebooks that we just got in. Just a generic type one. Oh, Midori, yeah. We got... I'll gush on Friday during the podcast, but A6 and A6 notebooks, because we've only had A6 Lite in Midori. And then I got A7 Lite Midori notebooks, and they're the cutest thing ever. I love them. And they come in a 3-pack. And then, what else? A5 notepads in graph, which were... I noticed we had the A4 version, and that they made an A5, and I thought, well, that's just kind of silly. Why don't we get the A5? All right. So yeah, you can use anything. There is a specific tool for it, but I mean, I just used a drill bit for that. And the sole purpose is just if you push that O-ring further down past its spot, you can just push it back up. Oh, no, that's an interesting idea, Russell. You worked at a stationery store back in the 80s. You had a 5-year book that you would write down what you did for sales each day, notes on anything out of the ordinary that happened that day. So I've got a 5-year Hobonichi that, yeah, you could look back previous years and compare daily sales. That's a fantastic idea. I mean, yeah, we've got analytics to do that kind of crap now, but it doesn't tell you like, wow, I sold, like sometimes we would celebrate, on Fridays we would have our beer 30. So it used to be, it used to be like 5:00. And then I realized, nothing was getting done from like 4:45 to 5:30, and so we moved it to like 5:15, and then it sort of became, and we had a lot of people who were participating too. So it was like, I had like 4 or 5 people were drinking beer at like 5:00, and the manager hat being put on my head, I'd be like, well, I'm paying you people all this money for nothing, but anyway, we would give away what we call the Duke Award. And what it was, it was this big metal medallion that we had that was from the top of some Duke pen box. And it was about yay big. And it was tacky as all get out, but it had a little hole in it so that we could hang it. And we had a little special place behind the register where we had these black and white pictures of everybody who worked there. So there's me, Lisa, Dave, and then the people in the creative, and so each week we would announce the Duke Award winner, and then you would get, for that week, you would get bragging rights by having the Duke Award next to your name, next to your image behind the counter. And at first nobody wanted to win it, but then we put a little spin on it because you know, it wasn't just, you know, you didn't win it just because you sold the most. It could be you dealt with a difficult customer, or you resolved the problem, or you noticed an issue and you know something good happened, or we sold the last LaBelle fountain pen that we had forever. Or you know you did a good telephone sale or whatever. You know, it wasn't always monetary. And why am I telling this story? I don't remember where I was going with this. But yeah, we would give that out on Fridays, and then that would be the highlight of the week. Yeah, daily sales. Yeah, okay, yeah. Um, but we would write in our journal, our beer journal for the week. You know what the beer was, and then we would have maybe if there was some defining moment, and then whoever won the Duke Award. But a 5-year journal sounds great. Why is this not tightening up? We just lost the screw. Oh, there it is. Start with the Norby. You haven't finished it. Oh, you start with the Norby. Okay. Oh, you're talking about my story. So I ended up with multiples of these journals over the years. Which reminds me, I need to find it and bring it tonight because while I could have continued using it, I've saved it for whenever Dave and I have a beverage together. I write it down, and then we started taking the labels off of the beers, so we remembered which beers we had. I think the first book we had was this beer review book. You know, and you could rate it 1 through 5, the taste, and we started that, but I rarely meet a beer I don't like. So we stopped that nonsense early on. And then I just had a spare notebook. It was a big notebook too. One of these Oasis Summit journals, and they're huge. They're they're beefy, and then when we started putting the labels in, it started puffing out a little bit. Strangest thing to happen one day was an older lady was at the register paying for a purchase. Here she is right in front of the door on a busy business street. I said, ma'am, and pointed to her. She had a two-piece dress on and her skirt fell down and she didn't know it. Oh, my goodness. That's something. This one was difficult to get off, as I recall. I remember I can see there's a little drop of shellac on the tube. There we go. All right. Slow but steady progress here. Turn the ultrasonic on a little bit. I had 19 out there today. I think ours is 25. Low as 0. This one's got a little bit of stuff on the end here. Ah, it's the old gasket. Well, we're going to have to come up with a new one. Let's do this. Let me see if I got an extra gasket. I'll steal it from something else. I'll try to find a cracked one, and then I don't have to worry about it. I really need to make this gasket. The old one just disintegrated. There it is. That'll be a good project for 2026. Because, well, most of the time you don't have to replace these. Sometimes you do. And I'm seeing it more and more. Popping out in a minute, Juicy. All right, well, have a happy new year. Be safe. Can't imagine you're going to be partying it up too hard. Oh, man. Just as I do this, I thought I saw a crack, but the nice thing about cracks and blind caps believe it or not, there is one, but it was sealed up. Well, we'll see if it works. If it doesn't work, I got to replace it. But usually it'll just come out of that joint. Holds up pretty well, actually. All right. Slow and steady today. Got a little extra silicone here, so I'm just gonna. You always want a little bit on this threaded part here. right, so everything came out, so we don't have to worry about soaking sacks. What are my thoughts on vintage Moore hard rubber pens? I'm currently bidding on one. I love Moore, particularly the hard rubber ones. Even more extra bonus points if it is a safety. One of the coolest, simplest safeties ever made. Which is maybe a weird statement, but I've restored a number of more safeties. Now, if it's a lever filler, it's very straightforward restoration, just like anything else. I'm trying to think. One of the first pens Lisa ever gave me was a Moore lever filler. Just says it's a number 2. Okay. Yeah, well, if it was a safety, you'd know it. You would know it. If you don't know what they look like, look them up. They're funky. You know, they're what the Noodler's Boston safety is modeled after. All right, so we'll take a look at the nib units. We still got to ultrasonic these snorkel tubes, and I still got to get this thing apart. But we can, if the nib units are clean, we can reassemble, put point holder gaskets in the other 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. That touchdown's got a great barrel visualated section there. I still got some sticky residue on from this sticker, which we are going to put back on. You did a Green Admiral touchdown with a super clear section. You've been reluctant to ink it. Waterman. Waterman is your friend. We'll put one there as a positive. Get back to that in a minute. And the green. Okay. Yeah, so this is now, if we heat this up, I think it will go back to where it needs to be. But I'm going to put it in ultrasonic like that. There. I got no way to identify that other than that's really, really inky, so we're going to put a piece of tape on that one. All right. I'll put this in here so when I heat it, I don't accidentally squish it. It's been soaking overnight. It's a smart idea to keep that level of notes for ongoing work, kind of similar to the 5-year journal discussion from a while ago. Yeah, I've often thought about doing it for repair too. But I'm more inclined for repair to do it by model. Regarding the touchdowns, both first years that I have seemed to dry out some, leaving the ink saturated for a spell. Could it be a cap issue? Could be. That's entirely possible. Did I get it? I got it. There we go. It's got a aftermarket point holder gasket, which is a little chubbier, and I think that was causing some friction in there. Also has a little bit of adhesive or something in here. Oops. Beautiful. We're still going to have to do the caps. It's 4 o'clock. At some point, but I want to get at least the sacks on today. Because then they can dry, and next week we can take care of the rest of them. In fact, I'm going to make a note now. If we get to it today, we'll cross it off. But Snorkels, I got a little marker on here, so we can just cut those. I don't have a mark for these, so we'll just have to do it manually. I probably should just make a mark because they're pretty much all the same. There we go. I think I'm going to give this a little heat real quick and see if I can soften up that adhesive on there, and we can just take it off. All right, that's better. Grab 3 of them at once. All right, so this is the first one. We saw a video from SBRE Brown about a modern Santini safety filler. It was a demonstrator so you can see the inner working. Huh. Not for you, but interesting. This is the second one. I blow through it to see if it's clear, and then I can still run the wire through. This one was easier than the other one. £700 or £800 sterling. You're interested, but your purse is not. Oh, euro. Oh, sorry. My glasses make it hard to see. Not having glasses make it hard to see. This one's still got. I wonder if it's Schaefer Peacock or something in it. Flows through pretty good, but it turned my clear water into that, which is beautiful. It just doesn't want to. I'm going to take my cutoff bulb. And then I can fit that whole thing in there. And all right. And what a messy day today, huh? Totally worth it for that ink, though, in the retro. It looks like you've done a full day's work. The refill was fun and appreciated. You're back. Are you waiting for something to cook in the oven? Food is out of the oven and cooling. Needs to rest overnight for the flavors to melt. Okay. Does that mean you sample something at around 10:30, 11 tonight when no one's looking? Because that's what I would do. I would, shameless plug time for that Cardinal Pens hand cleaner, eh? Yeah. That's about it. Sample. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're doing it for the good of your party guests. Never trust a pen worker with clean hands. Yeah. Unless it's the first appointment of the day. Yeah, you got to check the seasoning. This is above and beyond my usual mess, so it will require a few extra minutes of scrubbing. You always cook with less salt than the finished product needs. Best to get it right at the end. Yeah, that's a that's a very good idea. All right, so I'm going to get my knockout block out and repeatedly see how it develops. Yeah. And then when I shellac these down, then I can just put them in. I'll put them in order. Go kind of around the. This is on its last leg, so we're gonna. I know I like paper towels are cheap, but I'm frugal and I like to use it. I always know where it is. I know it's not, something for lunch. One, one snorkel. Ha, ha. Be excited to see this cold filled guy go together because I really love these. They're real super cool. Last of the Snorkels. The gold filled one looks nicer than in your collection. I doubt it. It's got a little ding in the top, and that's the only reason it's not. I mean, it's pretty clean, but it's got a little ding there. Although it's like almost perfectly centered, so it comically doesn't look so bad. There were two in that collection, and the other one didn't have any dings in it at all, so that I kept that one. Oh, the barrel in yours has two dings. Well, yeah, this is pretty clean then. No engravings. So if you've got a good cap, you could buy this and then sell off the other one. You're enjoying the Champion combo I fixed up? You inked it with Waterman Harmonious Green as your go-to dustbin. Oh, that's a good color for it. Good. It wrote quite well. All things considered. All right. No upgrades? Oh, come on. Have a great night. I'll talk to you later. Okay. All right, we got point holder gaskets, we got O-rings, we got sacks on. All we got left to do is we got 427. You know what? I think I'm gonna wait and we'll deal with the caps next week. Only because it's gonna take me a few minutes to clean this off. I don't know what ink was in that green pen, but it was something else. We'll do the caps next week. We can assemble these. We'll probably we can test the touchdown right away. A couple of these probably we can, and then we got to deal with. We'll put this on last. We'll see what we can. We'll figure out what we can do with that. And a couple of the 3 of these, the snorkel tube probably didn't come out, so it very likely could be in the right spot, and we could be done. We can seal them up, and they'll be ready to go. So we'll do that. But I gotta clean my hands. I think we're gonna try to get out of here right at 5, so we can get home. We've got to prepare our little party platter, and most importantly, I have to figure out what pen I'm gonna put in my pocket for the evening. Right now, I've got a Schaefer oversized balance, which is, just as good as any, but I need to ink it up if I'm going to do that. But then we got to get over it because I think we're starting at 6. So I got to get home, clean up, do my stuff, and then get back on the road and basically come out. Like we're literally a mile from Dave's house. So, unfortunately, I didn't want to have, we don't have a big enough fridge for us to have had and I don't like to cut the meat that early. I just want to cut it. And I didn't want to bring it and cut it there. So, but I think dinner's at 6. We're doing dinner. Anyway. So that's it. I want to take just a brief minute. And I alluded to it at the beginning. I really appreciate everyone's support this year. I never expected this stream to actually amount to much, but here we are. I won't get rich off of it, but we've done a lot with it. We've had some fun days. We've come up with some good repairs, and I've learned a few things along the way as well. I hope you have too. But I hope you all have a fantastic New Year's Eve, a safe one. If you got to drive anywhere, and hopefully the weather cooperates for all of us. And while I'm thinking about it, Monday's stream will be late if I have it at all. I do. It's been a good time. Yeah, it has. It has, Glenn. I do have a doctor's appointment that I had to get in, and I took the first appointment they gave me. They're like, the 5th, 2:25. They're like, great, I'll take it. So, you're going to the other side of the room. Nice. So I might do something from 3:30 to 5 maybe on Monday. We'll see what happens. I'll try to get in just so we can maybe do some work on these. I don't know. I've got that fill call we got to look at as well. So anyway, that's just a reminder. I'll be a little late on Monday. Friday we will have podcast per normal 1:30 p.m. Central Time. Tune in for that. We'll be talking about some paper for sure. I don't know what else we're going to talk about, but we've got other things, I'm sure. So anyway, that's it. Thanks everyone. I appreciate it. It's been a fantastic year. Thanks for a great year of restorations. You've learned a lot. Yeah, great. Awesome. That makes me happy. At least, it's not just me yammering here in front of a screen. Somebody else gets something out of it too. So, I'm happy about that. Everyone else, have a great evening, a great morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Some of you are in 2026 already. Be kind, be well, be safe tonight, and we'll see you next week. All right, take care, everyone. Bye now.